Hello, and a warm welcome to each and everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again for this new Wednesday, for this initiative that we are taking on Let Us Talk It Zipinars. So we call it Zipinars as we try to zip in two different knowledge from two different individuals to shorten the time of your viewing and your listening to listen. So you won't be bothered for too long from your work because at this hour, some are resting, some are still working on different time zones, but definitely would like to bring you the value of knowledge and information in a shorter period of time. So this webinar or Zipinars happen regularly every Wednesday. And for today, we have two new speakers, really great speakers that will deliver us wonderful topics, just like we do every Wednesday. So for those who are joining on Zoom, you can ask your friends to join in on live so you can interact and ask questions. And for those who are watching live via YouTube, you can put your questions on comments so we can deliver it to our speakers. So for the first topic that we have today, it is decision-making mental model for better health. So Gen Z today suffers tremendous mental health issues, which is true. The mental health issues are under four different layers, and the speaker would be talking about the decision-making abilities to help overcome this, the different tools for decision-making, and how it betters mental health. So currently, she is a director research and consulting in INCISIV, and she is a retired major, which is a Major Neha Guy, her name, and an Army veteran with experience across 12 years, spanning defense and retail consulting, and an avid reader, writer, researcher, and happiness trainer. And without further ado, here's Major Neha Guy to deliver the topic for us.
Thank you, Phil. Greetings to one and all. I would like to thank Cogent Business Solutions for inviting me to express my views on the topic, decision-making mental models for better health. Now, before I begin with the topic today, I would just share a presentation. So before I deep dive into the topic, I would like to ask my viewers here. I'm sure many of you are suffering from some health issues. Now, health can be defined as physical, spiritual, social, and mental. And though this is not covered in the scope of my topic today, but I would like to say that the reason why I chose this topic was because May is the month of mental health awareness. And we all know that it is health, especially mental health, is plaguing our society at large. Our society today is spanning across different demographic, generations. We have the silent generation, which is the age group above 75. We have the baby boomers, which are between 59 to 75. We have the Generation X, which is between the age group of 47 to 76. We have the millennial generation, which is between the age group of 28 to, those born up till about 45. And we have Generation Z, which is the age group between 12 to 28. And thereafter is Generation Alpha. But the focus of my topic today would be for millennials and Generation Z, as they are the workforce today and times to come. By workforce, I don't mean only the income revenue generating ones. I also include everybody who's working, whether they are managing households or they are working at offices and gainfully employed. Small data statistics before I actually deep dive into my topic of the mental models. The millennials. So here is a data statistic that I've taken out. There has been research conducted over many organizations. I'll just highlight a few, the rest can be Googled. There is McKinsey, there is American Psychological Association, there is Deloitte, India, and there are many universities like Michigan University, IIT Delhi, which have conducted statistics on the mental health today. And as we can see in the graph that the pie chart that I have kept here, that 27% of generation, 27% is the millennial generation and 38% is the Gen Z generation, which I described earlier, face mental health issues. And if we correlate this pie chart with this small graph here, I can show you that 50% of all of us experience mental health issues. And I would like to note or add a note here that generally mental health issues translate to physical issues if they have not been addressed in a given span of time. And also over here, the arrow that I've highlighted is that all of us face mental health issues, but this particular generation, what is the basic issue that they face? What is the mental health issue that they face? They face fear of missing out because of digital engagement. We are all digital natives today. And if you go with Gen Z, they are born in the digital era. They have been brought up with mobile phones, leave alone Generation Alpha, which is the children below 12 years of age. They suffer depression and anxiety because of body image. They suffer, depression and anxiety because of not having good marks or not being able to decide careers, like it's mentioned here. Family relationships, friendships, careers, pressures from peers are some of the issues which cause them so much stress, and there are consequences to that. So giving you these statistics was to just initiate a small, alarming data which is available across the internet, that mental health is a big plague in the society today, but it can be addressed and it's a little underrated when we talk about it. So now, having said this, I will come to the first mental model of my, decision-making model, which will help you make decisions in your life, which will further better your mental health. Because if you can take a decision which you have thought over properly, you will be able to be at peace. And this is something I'm speaking from personal experience. I'm a transitioning veteran, a mother, and a workforce employee, and a parent, and a wife. So there are a lot of, roles that I play on a day-to-day basis, and everything requires decision making. So moving on, my first mental model that I would like to prescribe to all the people, all the viewers today is second order thinking. Now, what is second order thinking? It is basically an ability to think through the given problem, but by understanding its consequence and not leaving it at that, understanding the consequence of the consequence and further on the consequence. I will illustrate this with three different cases or three different scenarios that I have here. In the first scenario, I talk about an anecdote, which is in the British Raj time, wherein there was a problem of venomous cobra snakes in Delhi. And the government at that point of time, the British Raj, wanted to get rid of them. So what they decided was that they set up a strategy wherein they would award anybody who would get a dead cobra snake. This worked beautifully, and the people were rewarded handsomely. But as all humans are enterprising by nature, they wanted to earn more revenue out of it. And they started getting more and more snakes. Now, what happened? The government came to know about it and scrapped the decision. When they did scrap the decision, that was the first order thinking. They did not realize the consequence of that. The consequence of that was that there were people who started breeding cobra snakes to get those rewards. And when the government scrapped this decision, those cobras were let out into the forest, which eventually led to more population of cobras than they actually existed in the beginning. That is an example of second order thinking. I would also like to say that second order thinking is a complex, systematic process. It isn't the easiest thing available, and it isn't the first solution that comes to your mind. Now let's go to the second scenario. The second scenario here is about a manager, like all of us would be in our phases of life. And there is a manager who's thinking about how to solve a crisis situation he's facing at office. He has a team that he's managing, and there is a crisis situation there. Now, he understands, I'm sorry, it's not he or she, I'm just referring because the image says he, otherwise it's for all, it's unisex. The problem at hand is a crisis solution which is being faced by the team. Now the manager decides that I know how to solve this problem, so let me do it. And in turn, this was first order thinking. The problem got resolved, but the manager lost out on precious time and hence ended up in a fight or flight mode. Now, the second order thinking here would have been to think through the consequence of giving an opportunity to the team to resolve this problem. A second order thinking here would involve offering an opportunity to the team to resolve it, but in the intervening period, till the team doesn't really understand or build cohesiveness to solve the problem, the manager would have to face a few struggles while the team understands, and also at the same time offer the team to be a guiding support. The final consequence of this would be that the manager, though the initial time would have been painful during the struggle period, the manager eventually would have had a team which would be more cohesive, a better morale, and would be able to resolve crisis situations, which would leave time for the manager to actually look at tasks and duties which the manager needs to do at that level. That is second order thinking. Now, another example is that of quitting the job. The image here describes quitting your job without burning the bridges. Now, oftentimes, a lot of people face the situation of wanting to quit the job. But the first order thinking would be that I want to quit the job because of, say, A, B reasons. A could be you're not being paid handsomely. 2 could be you're not liking the work, you're not happy at work. Now, the first consequence would be you quit the job or you start looking for other options. But the second order thinking would be that you actually try and dissect the core of the problem. Is it actually the environment, or is it actually the promotion? Is it actually the pay? Is it something that you want to be intellectually engaged that you're not getting? Or is it just a technological hindrance or a training that you have not received and hence it is affecting your performance? So these are 3 case scenarios that I had to just explain second order thinking to you. And how I would like to talk about second order thinking is I'll just give a brief example of how we can differentiate first order thinking and second order thinking with a few tenets to second order thinking. When we talk of first order thinking, we are looking for easy answers. It is the first solution that comes to our mind. It is the only thing we see on the surface. We do not actually dive deep. And the answers that we get are based on our past experience and not necessarily with what's there in front of us or is a deep dive into the actual problem. When we look at second order thinking, it is harder to think. You will feel actually exhausted thinking of what is it that is actually troubling you. It will not be based on your current assumption of the issue, but you will be made to dive deep into the whole picture, including the whole environment. And you will have to understand that what is the positive impact of your action, because every action has a consequence and those consequences lead to another consequence. Now, second order thinking can be also shown as the way to separate yourself from the ordinary. My graph or my diagram on the right shows that second order thinking is to be done when you are looking at the good outcomes and the bad outcomes and follow it up with what are the bad outcomes, what are the good outcomes, and do these good outcomes actually translate into another set of good outcomes or bad outcomes. When you start doing this and practicing this in your daily life, the left side graph will actually show you that you can accelerate your growth, your own personal professional growth, because you would separate yourself from the ordinary by waiting the intervening painful period to actually achieve the consequences that you want to achieve in life. Now, having spoken about the second order thinking and the graph, having said this, I would like to come to the second model of my mental model series. Oh, I'm sorry. There is a framework that I have that I've put up so that anybody who would like to practice second order thinking in life to resolve their mental health issues can practice this with the framework. It starts with what are the immediate effects that you have in your life. At the moment, what is it that you see on the surface? And then in the second order, what is it that you're looking at the next 5 months? What is it that you're looking at for the next 10 months? And follow it up with what is the next thing that you look at 5 years. It's generally told to us in all, colleges or initial careers that, well, where do you want to see yourself in the next 10 years? Though it is tough at that time, but we can start with steps. Where is it that you want to look at yourself in the next 5 months or 10 months? And does what you do presently resonate with that? And if not, don't jump. Take some steps back and be in that situation, be in the intervening painful period to finally realize your actual dream. Or else, if you don't follow this and if you go by first order thinking, you will end up taking corrective measures only. For example, in the case one scenario, which talked about the cobras, the government had to just take corrective measures to resolve the problem again. In the second scenario, where the manager had to actually train the team so that the manager is left with time to look up duties at that level. If the manager goes by first order thinking, what happens is that they lose out on time, they lose out on a better morale of the team, and lose out on the team feeling more empowered. And the manager obviously being in a fight or flight mode all the time. In the third scenario, when we spoke of quitting the job, if we do second order thinking, we would not be in a situation where we change the job and again not feel happy and wanting to leave it again. We would take time to finally make a switch where exactly we wanted. So that covers my second order model. Having said that, I would like to come to the second model of my mental model series today, and that is survivorship bias. Survivorship bias is essentially looking at the whole and not the parts. To illustrate this, I will give you an example of a warplane which has come back from a battlefield. This is an anecdote from the World War II, wherein this airplane has come back with bullet holes. The red marks on the airplane denote the bullet holes. It has come back from the battlefield, and the American military has hired a mathematician, Andrew Wald, to help them develop a defense strategy to ensure that these airplanes are better in the war and they come back to safety. From the institutional military knowledge, it is known that if a metal casing is surrounding the airplanes, it would be better, efficient, and it would generally come back. However, if metal casing is wrapped around the entire airplane, it would be heavy and it would cost them a lot. So the team that was institutionalized to solve this problem only looked at repairing the bullet holes with metal casing. But the mathematician Andrew Wald looked at the airplane and told them that you're looking at only the bullet holes. You're not looking at the areas which have not been hit by bullets, because essentially these are the airplanes which have come back from the battlefield. The ones which have not come back, we don't know the reasons. But we do know that this one has come back without being hit on the engine. So Andrew Wald had suggested that the engines be cased with metal casing and not the others. So this is an example of survivorship bias where you look at essentially the whole picture. Now I will come down to this in the world that we live in today. In the world that we live in today, I see, or from my observations, that the generation does not want to complete higher education. It would prefer to move into entrepreneurship without having worked. And when I have the diagram of the pyramid on the left, it basically talks about the number of people who've been able to make it to the success that generally inspires this generation. For example, Mark Zuckerberg. He's built Facebook, but he was a college dropout. Bill Gates. These are big examples. Let's come down to the Indian example of Alak Pandey, who's the founder of PhysicsWallah. He has made it to the top. He was a college dropout. He was a mechanical engineering student at HPTU Kanpur, and he dropped out. But there was a passion in him, and he's been able to scale the curve. But he's one example. What about the number of people who are in that triangle and not at the tip? So when you make a decision, a mental model critical decision, you have to look at the survivorship bias. You have to look at, are you that capable? Do you have that much resource to be able to, endure that journey. And look at the right side that I have. There are 2 people who've been remembered, and there are about 9 who've not been remembered. We're not looking at the struggles and the failures that those people have got. In order to not go through that journey, I'm not saying don't go through the journey. I'm just saying in order to be better prepared, we should actually go through the troubles and problems that the people on the left have faced. Another example is that in 2011, in California, there was an entrepreneur, Peter Andre Thiel, who awarded $1 million to any college student who would drop out and become an entrepreneur. Now, Benjamin Stern is a 2020 fellowship of the Thiel Fellowship. When his news came out, everybody congratulated him. There were a lot of media articles about him, and that inspired a lot of the US generation students, Gen Z, to actually go on this path of entrepreneurship. But when we read his story or when we speak to him, we come to know that it was at the age of 14 when he was in school that he developed the idea or his passion project of his company that is founded today, that is Novo. It's about 4 years old, but the idea was when he was 14, and he got the fellowship in 2020. So nobody has seen the last 6 years of his struggle, of his journey, of his passion, and of the viability of that project for him to actually drop out of school or drop out of college and move on to just building his foundation company. So if we follow these 2 models, we will better our mental health. For the simple reason that if we take a decision which has been thought out on pen, paper, with consequences of, say, at least till the 3rd order, we would be at peace and be determined to follow the path irrespective of the intervening pain. So that wraps up my better decision mental making models for a better mental health. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Major. That was a really wonderful talk and information that you have shared. And the presentation is really great as well. It's very representing, especially the aircraft or the airplane that you have showed with the bullets. So it's not always the bad thing that you have to look at. So we now open questions from our attendees or from also from fellow speaker, if you wish to ask questions or share your insights or comments from the topic, feel free to do so. And I will check the live section if we have some questions as well. So yeah, anyone would like to ask, feel free to unmute or raise your hand. Okay. No one is raising, so it appears to be that's crystal clear. So from Ravi, thank you for insightful session. So one of the directors on Cogent, that's Ravi.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Anything you'd like to promote before we go to the next topic?
No, I'm good, but I would like the generation that is there today to actually follow the mental models to be at better mental health. That is my message for all.
All right, that's perfect then. Well, thank you so much. Really, that's a great message for the youth right now, which is they think they have been taken for granted, but not really. All right. Yeah. So yeah, we can move to the next topic. And yeah, Ravi says he has just heard this concept for the first time, and it's really helpful.
I'm glad that resonates. Thank you so much.
Great. Now, so much from that first topic. It's really wonderful and great. So as much as the second as well, definitely, as this is the value that we're bringing you from Let Us Talk It, Zipiners. So the next topic will be freedom as a state of mind. So freedom as a state of mind, emphasizing that it goes beyond physical liberty. So we all need to accept the importance of mental and emotional freedom for personal growth and well-being. So we should embrace emotional freedom to live a fulfilling and authentic life. A very wise words from our speaker today, which is a managing director and CEO at Gopal's 56 Incorporated. And we have here for the speaker, Dr. Gaurav Goyal, who is, yeah, as mentioned, Managing Director and CEO at Gopal's 56 INC, and G56 Health Supplements finalist at Shark Tank India, chairman regional at Mentor Mascot Indian Film Federation, founder member at Global Trade and Technology Council of India, vice president at Lions Club Delhi Veg, executive member at Indo-Canada Chamber of Commerce, what else? Theta Healing practitioner at Theta Healing by Yana Stiba, life member at Rifle Association of India, panel speaker at LetUsTalk HD, F&D Business LetUsTalk HD, and delegate at Best Diplomats. So a very handful person that we have here, and it's a pleasure for us as well hearing from this businessman who'd like to share his topic, which is freedom as a state of mind and his success story as well. So without further ado, I'll have Mr. Dr. Gaurav Goyal take the spot and yeah, introduce himself a little further.
Hi, thank you, Phil. Thank you for the introduction. It was a very insightful session, Neha, and we really look forward to have some more insights from you. And you covered most of the things that were supposed to be discussed by me as well. And I think when we talk about the freedom of mind, that mind is the place where the universe occurs, right? So everything, whatever we have thought of, whatever realities we have seen, has first arrived in our mind. So every day we are having 60,000 thoughts. So 60,000 thoughts in a day is not a small thing. So you are dealing with a lot of ideas that could be good, bad, and they could be you know uh, driven by your passion or maybe by your society. So at times you have to decide, and that decision comes from your consciousness. Now I see the freedom of mind as the freedom of living. You have seen river, right? So river is flowing free. It doesn't have to stop. If it stops, it actually gets the bacterial formation has done, and things like that happens. Now I have learned this mindset while I was small, and I was looking at the things, that how traditionally the things are happening, and how the mindset can change the way the people connect with the desert. So we are making ice creams. My name is Gaurav Goel, and I'm the CEO of Gopal's 56 Incorporated. And we make ice creams, and we make healthier version of ice creams. We are doing vegan, prebiotic, probiotic, active dietary fiber that are infused in the ice creams, and ice cream flavors. And along with that, we are also infusing the ice creams with extracts, herbal extracts. So this was the idea that came in.
Hi, excuse me, doctor.
Yeah,
You were placed, yeah, you
yeah,
were on mute.
yeah. So my apologies. So okay, so initially that idea came to make the healthier version of ice creams, and there is where the journey started. I thought initially that I would be facing the challenges, but the freedom of mind, that plays a very important role. So when you give it a thought, and when you have the courage, so starts in your thinking, and then it makes the intention and the action, those all bring out the results. And there is where we started our journey. As I would like to share a very small video on our.
Well, yeah, let's take a hold for a little moment as Dr. Goyal may have misclicked and have removed himself from the meeting, but he will be back in a short. Yes. Would you like me to share the video for you?
Yeah, if you can do so. Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay.
You have the video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see it, sir?
हमारे पास एक ऐसा आइसक्रीम प्रोडक्ट है विच इज नॉट अ जंक फूड एनी मोर आइसक्रीम विद बेनिफिट पूरे विश्व की 7.8 बिलियन की आबादी अर्थव्यवस्था में 56 बिलियन US डॉलर से भी ज्यादा का बिजनेस केवल आइसक्रीम सेक्टर से जनरेट करती है। जहां एक और विकसित देशों में आइसक्रीम एक कल्चर की तरह रही, वहीं हमारे देश में विशेष मौकों तक ही सीमित थी। इस अंतर को मिटाने और देश में इंटरनेशनल टेस्ट बनाने का सपना आज से 4 दशक पहले एक शख्स ने देखा और उसे नाम दिया गोपाल छप्पन। गोपाल छप्पन एक नाम नहीं बल्कि एक विश्वास है जो सालों से लोगों की मुस्कुराहट में नजर आता है। वो गोपाल छप्पन जिसे मुनाफे की दौड़ में हार जाने की नहीं बल्कि अपने परिवार जैसे ग्राहकों के सेहत की चिंता रहती है, जो भले ही 4 पैसे कम कमाए पर क्वालिटी 4 गुना ज्यादा देने में यकीन रखता है। बात चाहे आइसक्रीम की हो या गोपाल छप्पन के किसी भी फूड आइटम की, स्वास्थ्य हमेशा से ही प्राथमिकता पर ही रहा है। डे 1 से हमारा एक एजेंडा रहा है और वो एजेंडा बड़ा क्लियर रहा है। हम लोगों ने कोई गलत चीज नहीं बेचनी। छोले भटूरे ये जो छोले होते हैं उसके अंदर हम लोग छोलों के अंदर बादियान, काला जीरा, दालचीनी और कई तरह की औषधियां बायोटिक प्रोबायोटिक आइसक्रीम भी है और साथ में उसके अंदर डाइटरी फाइबर भी है। दिस इज गोइंग टू बी एंटी कैंसरियस आइसक्रीम। दिस इज गोइंग टू बी ब्रेन बूस्टर फॉर किड्स। दिस इज गोइंग टू बी immunity booster. This is going to act. This is not going to give you any hazardous effects in your body. This will function as a medicine in your body. आइसक्रीम का एक जो माना जाता है कि आइसक्रीम एक जंक फूड है, उस आइसक्रीम को जंक फूड से हेल्दी फूड में कैसे कन्वर्ट करें वो हमने करा है और उसके लिए हमारे पास सर्टिफिकेशन भी है और हमारे पास एक ऐसा आइसक्रीम प्रोडक्ट है विच इज नॉट अ जंक फूड आइसक्रीम विद बेनिफिट। माना जाता है कि आइसक्रीम एक हमारे पास zero calorie, sugar, no artificial sugar, no high fructose or something. Vegan, prebiotic, probiotic. It has active dietary fiber in it, and it is also infused with ashwagandha. What do you think about it? I think very tasty. Yeah. When we decide ice cream on it, yes, very good. If you
Thank you so much, Phil, for the share. And this is a small this video cropped by one of our documentary that was also uh, being selected in the International Film Festival that has the story of my late father. So where he started his journey from making ice cream with the hand churned wooden machine, right? So at that time, it was in 1990s basically. At that time it was difficult to do research online because platforms were not available. So at that time we kind of brought the organic ingredients and infused the ice cream with the organic ingredients. And I just kind of remember the time when he started this. He used to pray and always used to have that freedom of thinking, freedom of state of mind, freedom of state of being, that okay, if we are wanting to do something, we can discover that. And there is where I think that most of us bound ourselves, we cage ourselves in the thoughts that we have. And I think that freedom is important. Like, you think getting an idea accomplishes a lot of things that we might not know at this point of time, because getting into some kind of uh, aeroplane and technology and things like that, we never imagined that. People at that time never imagined that, but somehow somebody thought of it, and then they created some, they had put their intention into it, and then those actions were made, and the result is here. We are all sitting in a different part of the world, and now we are connected through technology. This is impossible at one point of time. So I think that freedom of mind is very important. Okay, so there are two sort of mindset that we have usually. One is fear based and one is free. That fear based mindset is because of our own internal thinking process, where we think that okay, the society would think in a way that if we have to perform in a way, we have to perform in a way. No, it's not right, because we are free to choose our life, because life is given to you once, and that once is, that should be enough, I think. Phil, I would like to request, if there are any questions, I would like to go with the questions flow.
Yes, we will check with the attendees. And yeah, we have a new attendee. Yes, from the attendees, if there are questions Dr. Goyal would like to entertain, please feel free to unmute. If there are any. Checking live now. Okay, we don't have any questions so far. Yeah, you can continue, Dr. Goyal.
I would like to go with the questions. Because there is something that we all are here and we must discuss. I guess that if there is anything that comes in your mind freely, just get into the free mind. and think freely that okay, this thought is coming up in my mind and I would like to discuss it. I would be more than happy to do so.
Yes, anyone would like to speak up from the attendees? Yeah, would like to, since the topic is about freedom as a state of mind, Dr. Goya would like you to be free of your thoughts and yeah, just deliver what you wish to talk about or ask about.
One.
Yeah, no one raising their hand.
I am expecting something to hear from Bhavisha ji. I mean, if she's there, if she's listening.
Yeah, she is actually, Bhavisha.
Yeah.
Yeah, hello, hi everyone.
Hi, Bhavisha ji.
Yeah, fine. So, regarding your journey, Gopal's 56, we really want to know more about the emotional freedom.
Very nice, very nice, and very crazy question, because I would say that emotions are ours, that that we create inside of us, and emotions get affected only when we find it outside. I mean, it's also a state of being. When we connect to ourselves and we are emotionally strong enough to deal with the things that are not of the internal. I mean, that doesn't belong to us, and we kind of create that. So I think there is where the emotional freedom comes. And in my journey, my emotional freedom was, I mean, it had to happen because I had lost very close loved ones, and there is where I thought that okay, I have to be with something or somebody. So my connection with my work, it just thrived. So I just got connected to my work so much that I have got an emotional connect to that. So whatever we do, I mean, if we are making ice cream, so we are putting our emotions inside also. We are making the that vegan product that I'm just talking about, that we launched in US market. So this is one of the finest product that has been worked upon so far, because of the content and also of the lab reports and the kind of benefits that it's gonna give you. So that is the emotion that I have with the product, and this is where I think emotional freedom I gave to my mind, and to get into the this part of manufacturing this frozen food ice creams. And I had to face a lot of hurdles, of course, but then gradually I thought that okay, if we are looking for something, it will appear, it has to appear, and there is nothing that is impossible in this world. And there is where the emotion makes you inspired also. So I think emotional freedom is must, and whatever you do, you must put your emotion in that, in order to have that free flow of work and mindset.
Yeah, well said. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. And yeah, would you like to ask a question, Adnan? You tried to unmute. All right. Well, anyhow, like, is there risk in pursuing a freedom, or are there gray areas in your pursuit for freedom when you were starting your journey?
Is there a risk? That's what your question is.
Yes.
I think, Phil, there is a risk in everything that you. So why not enjoy your freedom with the risk? It comes as it comes. It makes you stronger. So whatever you do, I mean, on the one side, I just said that that thoughts are two kind. One is fear based, and another is the free thoughts. So when we have a fear based thought, we are, saving ourselves from any risk, and risk is the place where your growth comes after, right? So when you, I mean, a small kid in a lab would not know how to walk without falling down. So we have to fall, rise, and taking risk is part of it also. I think risk is very important, and one must take risk. Calculative risk is important because of the life factor, and there are things that can be unturned. So we have to be very careful about the calculative risk taking, and gradually, when we learn the art, our ability to go beyond this increases also. So I think that freedom should be in risk taking also.
Well, thank you so much for addressing that. And like, since no one is asking yet, so I'm just curious.
Yeah, still one question is
Yes.
there. Yeah,
Yes, go
I
ahead.
want to know more about the like I had seen the episode Shark Tank, and I had seen him freely asking the highest ask. It's 3 crore, and I want to know what happened next. Yeah, 300 crore
Of
ask.
course,
Yeah,
of
300.
course, we had that ask, and uh,
It
so
was the
I
highest
think
ask.
highest ask in the history of Shark Tank around the world. So uh, I think that is a very very small chunk of amount that I asked for the purpose that we are looking for, and of course the industry, ice cream industry as a whole, is about 56 billion US dollars. I mean, this sums about 50 million US dollars. I'm talking about 56 billion US dollar industry, and the inventory cycle, the rotation of inventory is huge, and they are really massive. And this is where I thought of asking for the funding, because of the inventory rotation that we are looking to capture the global ice cream industry, the global ice cream market, and there is where I thought that, okay, freely asking, I think that if you have a thought in your mind and if you absorb it, I mean, you're not gonna go anywhere. You have to make some kind of a uh, action that is needed to be converted for the results of your thoughts. So this is how it went, and of course after Shark Tank, we discovered a lot of things also. I recently was in US, and we also kind of setting up our ice cream supply chain in Dubai, and this is the beauty of freedom of state of mind, right? So anything that you wish to do, it becomes easier, because you're not limiting, and you're not putting any barriers in your thinking process, and it is said by us. Whatever we do, is it has to be done through us, and we have to know that, okay, this is what is supposed to get done, and this is how it's gonna go. And like I said, that the freedom in thinking will bring more of the opportunities, and more of one fact I would like to bring to that how the thinking can affect you. So when we are thinking about the past, or we are thinking about the future, either we are worried, or we are anxious, or we are stressed, or we are fearful, or we are like thinking of bad times or good times that is supposed to become. I think the best way to live a free mindset is to be in the present moment. When you are here right now, in the present moment, you will not get affected by any of the pattern that was, you might have suffered. I didn't get that question, Phil. Can you please, isn't that statement limiting to what?
Yes. The question is from Sri Devi. Isn't that statement limiting to most people with economically weak backgrounds?
I didn't get the question. I mean, Shri, can you please say that?
Yeah, so what I meant was the statement that you have said, freedom is a state of mind. Isn't it like limiting people with economically weak backgrounds, as in people who are burdened with life, uh, as in, like, they have economic conditions where they couldn't have the opportunity to think freely or have this freedom as a state of mind. uh, isn't that statement like limiting to like the people, the certain set of people who are like economically weak, or they are burdened with socioeconomical, sociocultural factors? So that was my question. Isn't that limiting?
No, I don't think, because I honestly want to tell you this, that when we are born out of destiny. We are not sure of where we are born, right? So anybody who's born after maybe 4 or 5 years, they come to know that, okay, we are born in this family and this is what we are doing and this is how we are. And the end of the life, that is also by the destiny, right? And in between is the life that is happening, and the life is happening through us, and we are living inside of our bodies, and we have to be. So there are many stories that has seen a lot of transformation. People from weak economical background, they have thrived so much. They just went into the another level. Dhirubhai Ambani is one of the example. So I think we should not limit ourselves to the economical social conditions. And of course, I understand that when you are burdened with things and social responsibilities and financial liabilities, your thinking pattern changes. But then again, that is the practice that we have to have, that freedom of mind. We are not going to do anything by thinking, overthinking, by creating anything that is beyond our mindset, will not create any result. It will not create any result. That is just a myth. I mean, if we think that, okay, we are going to think and constantly think, and we are going to come up with something, no. The life is flowing, so we have to flow with that. And I think there are different perspective of seeing it also, that the the karmas plays a very important role. So the action, as I said, that thoughts, intention, and action, that will create result. So whosoever has given it a thought, whoso have ever put their efforts and have taken actions, they have got the results without any doubt. So I think putting that barrier in your mind is also not right. Does that
Thank you.
answer the question,
Yeah,
Shri?
yeah, it does. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
One more question regarding the environment. Do you think it is limiting your growth, environment conservation, and being into a food business? You need to use many different packaging material, and what do you think about this?
No, we have okay. Recently, I was traveling abroad also, and I could see that a lot of developed countries are using plastics and are using, I don't know, maybe they are recyclable plastics or something, but we have started using the paper products. And limiting ourselves is not the right thing. Environment is the expansion, right? So I think getting connected to the environment gives you the expansion, the feeling of expansion also. So getting close to nature, that I really enjoy being into the nature. So getting close to the nature does makes you expand inside of your mind also. And so far as the food is concerned, we are using paper packaging, of course, and we are using recyclable plastic, if so. And along with that, we are also wanting to look into something that is made from sugarcane bagasse. So this is a new thing that will be coming up, that sugarcane has the bagasse, that the remains of the sugarcane, that can be transformed into a plate or something, that can be transformed into a glass or something. There are already people who are doing it also. And no, environment cannot stop your growth. I mean, if you are fully do you see yourself, I mean, I know that you are so much dedicated to environment, and see, you are thriving, you are growing, and environment will make you grow. So we should always be devoted to environment first. First is environment, first is the nature. And then, because we are also nature, and whatever we consume is also nature. I mean, it is also a part of nature. So everything comes from nature, goes to nature. I think environment is the first thing that one should think about. And so far as our ingredients are concerned, so we have not been using any product that is harmful for human consumption or for environment at all. So even the the ingredients that we use in ice creams are plant-based, all plant-based. They are not chemicals. They are not the high pH. We don't use any egg, any gelatin. So these are the products that we are making and putting the environment into it, the nature into it, and there is where I think that the product will speak for itself.
Yeah, exactly. Because when we keep environment in our mind, growth is double, right?
Of course,
Yeah,
it's
excellent.
manifold. I mean, I don't think that anything that nature teaches us to grow. I mean, you put a seed inside of the land, and it grows, and it grows into a tree, and then it grows into the fruits and then leaves, and things like that. So cycles and all. So everything is learned from the nature. If we are able to see nature closely, we will understand life, I think. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil.
Yes, I think that takes care of it. Yeah, would like to open if you have additional questions, attendees. Already.
Great. I think we are done for today. So
Exactly.
you can you
That's
can you can take over. Yeah, you can take over, please. Thank you.
yes. Thank you
Nice
so
to meet
much,
you.
Dr. Gael. That's really wonderful and inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing that information. And yeah, so more progress from you, definitely. So you're about to go global with your ice cream. So yeah, I hope I can have a taste of that ice cream as well one day.
Of
So,
course.
well, anyway, thank you so much for bringing the freedom in a state of mind and showing everyone that um, you must not limit yourself from things that you don't have. So, all good. And well, that takes care of it. So we can wrap up this Zipinar session and we can call it a day. So we'd like to appreciate and send our great thanks to our speakers today, Major Neha and Dr. Goyal for bringing in their knowledge, their experience, and the effort, the joining and delivering wonderful discussions to us today. And for those who have attended, thank you so much for your precious time. And for those who watch as well on YouTube and also for those who will be watching later, for sure you will be able to learn great things from this discussion today. And we'd like to invite you again for another session next Wednesday. So that's the same time. That's 9:30 to 10:30 in the evening for India Standard Time. And that's 12 noon to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be bringing you two new speakers and two new wonderful topics to be shared and discussed for that day. So again, it happens regularly every Wednesday. So for those who loves learning, definitely invite them to join Zoom or watch it on YouTube, which is on Let Us Talk It page. So again, thank you so much, everyone, and we bid you goodbye for now and see you around. Take care as always. All the best.
Thank you.